Hi, I'm Samsun Lobe. Welcome to this edition of Collecting the Future. So here we have a very interesting series. I've been wanting to talk about Kickstarter for some time. So this is the perfect series to do that on. So this is Legendari by Meta Travelers and appeared on Kickstarter some time ago. And if you don't know what Kickstarter is, basically you can back people's ideas for making different products. You pledge a certain amount, and that could be anything from just supporting the campaign until buying all of the figures, in this case, which I did. They often have stretch goals, so if they make their target, they have further targets which they unleash different figures. So I think in this case there was, I want to say it was sort of 8 or 9 figures in the original series, and then all the other ones were stretch goals, so as they made their targets, they released each of those figures. So a good way of getting a whole set. The benefits of buying on Kickstarter, I mean, there's Indiegogo as well, so there's a couple of platforms where figure series are released. And there are independent people that release different pieces, and also companies as well that go on there. So some companies you might have heard of release their figures on Kickstarter first. I think it's like a guaranteed way of making sure they fund the initial outlay for the figures. So the benefits of buying on Kickstarter. So the number one is it's cheaper, mostly. So I paid $525 for this entire set. So there's 15 figures in the set, which means that's about $35 per figure. I think you can pre-order them now, and the pre-order price is between $46 and $70 per figure. So that's quite a saving, and obviously you get them all at once when you're pre-ordering. Not all companies have all of the figures, and it also means you don't get the exclusives. So there are Kickstarter exclusives. I think there was one with this set, so unless you backed it on Kickstarter, that figure is quite hard to get hold of. There are all lots of extras they give you as well. So in the front we have a stand. We also have a comic book which is based on the IP. Comes with a signed card. Also have a certificate of authenticity, which is also signed and stamped, which is great. And all of these have a sticker on it which says Founders Edition, because we backed it on Kickstarter. So those are the good things about buying on Kickstarter. So the negative things from buying on Kickstarter, and there are a few. So not all campaigns reach their targets. Those that don't make the money that they're after they just cancel. You don't lose anything there. I have had a couple of campaigns that I've backed that have made their target and then never materialized. So I don't really know what's happening to that money or what they're doing with it. I keep chasing it, but some of those things can go on for years. You can't always guarantee the quality. So a lot of the things that you're looking at on the Kickstarter platform are prototypes, or even just sort of 3D models of what the end product could look like. So there's no real guarantee of quality. I'm happy to say that on these that the quality is great, and we'll come on to that in a second. And then I think the biggest problem with Kickstarter is timescales. So I bought these early 2024. And the delivery was supposed to be Q4 2024. I've only just received them, so that's nearly a year and a half late. You just have to be patient. If you've put your money in and you want the set, you'll get them eventually, mostly. So you just have to sort of sit and wait. But if you want anything quickly, then Kickstarter is definitely not the way to go. So the figures themselves, as you can see, they come really nicely packaged in these window boxes. And you can see, if I hold that a bit closer to the camera, there's a lot of detail in these. The sculpts are great. So one of the problems I've found with some figure series, and we'll come on to that in a later episode, is that they tend to just duplicate the sculpt all the way through and just sort of give them different colors or different bits to go on it. But these all look very different. They're all sort of, I guess, based on a similar figure underneath, but they do look very different, painted very different, come with loads and loads of different pieces, and they're all interchangeable, so that's really cool. And as a set, I think they look great. I mean, the style is fantastic. So coming on to whether they'll be collectible in the future, that's a real difficult question to answer, because There is no sort of IP that goes alongside it. So there is a comic book series, but there is no sort of TV series or anything like that that's gone along with it. Not that that matters a huge amount, but it depends what they do next. So if they then release Wave 2 and this sort of series gathers momentum, then this series could be well worth collecting. But it could be another one that just disappears and we never hear of it again. Again, a bit of a punt, but I think that these were well worth it. So thank you very much for watching. Please check out my other videos.